Hey, Vinyl Community, it's Jason. It's Thursday or Wednesday night. Want to do a video. It's been a while. I was actually out of town. I was in Brazil for about 18 days. So I have a lot of records I picked up there. I have a bunch of stuff that came before, during, and after. But I'm just gonna talk about the stuff that I got when I was there, since I have quite a bit. So yeah, I go to Brazil every so often. It's been, last time I went was about World Cup, so it's been 4 years. The first time I've been since I've been collecting records, so I was excited to go down there and maybe try to check out some stuff. My wife is Brazilian, so she goes quite often, probably once a year. So yeah, so here's some of the stuff I bought when I was down in Brazil. This first record I'm going to show, this is, I guess you kind of call it a ghost record. I couldn't find any information on Discogs or any information on PopPsych. So I think this is a college record, and it's I guess the composer is Caesar Leinig. Let's see that. And the record is called Panophonia Not Technica, and it's kind of on this yellow label. I think it's a private press college record, but I'm not quite sure. It has Paraná on here, which I think is the name of the college or the city. But yeah, so this one, this record, I did. There's a couple songs on YouTube, so I checked it out. I really liked it. It's kind of got, you know, like some of those Moog records where there's a couple of the tracks are a little cheesy. There's like some Bach, and it's got like a lot of synth in it. But it's cool. It's got like, it's kind of like jazz fusion, but very kind of fantasy, like spacey because of the synths. And there's the chorus, so there's that going on. So it's a pretty interesting record. So super stoked to get this. I want to throw this one on, since I don't really hear this one played very often. So yeah, it's got this, see it like the spacey kind of like, you know, weird like computer jumbled mess going on, and then I don't know, it's really good. I really enjoyed this record. So I did go to a record store. I did get a recommendation on a couple stores to check out. My wife's from Rio, so we were staying actually in Baja, which is like the outskirts of Rio. So the first store I checked out, or actually this is the only store I checked out, was called Trax in Gavia. And Gavia is like a small neighborhood in Rio. And we were actually meeting my wife's friends about a block away from the store, so it worked out pretty well. So I was able to get there about 9. They closed at 10. So I went, and they had a pretty small selection. Unfortunately, I talked to the owner, and he said that there was a huge record fair the weekend before. So he said people were there from Japan, from Germany, all over Europe, and he said people just came and just bought everything. So I was asking if they had anything rare, and he said he didn't think so because everything got bought. So yeah, they didn't really have anything. I was hoping to kind of walk away with just something like really special, you know, being the first time I bought records in Brazil. But it's alright. I did pick up a couple things. The first one I got was Halsacious Nova Aeon. This is the third Halsacious record I have. This is the last one I wanted on my want list. I love Halsacious is one of the first people I kind of discovered when I started listening to Brazilian music. My wife kind of explains he's kind of like the Bob Dylan of Brazil, not musically but more lyrically. I don't understand all of the words, the phrases, so I can't quite say that, but she's explained a couple things to me, and it's pretty profound. But I do like his music. It's a little bit rock and roll. There's some kind of like folk aspects. There's some like orchestra stuff, some strings. So I like it. It's kind of, his music's all over the place. Like the album doesn't all the songs sound completely different. This is a really solid album. There's only a couple weak tracks on here. I really enjoyed this. So super happy to get this Halsacious. This is on Phillips. You see a lot of a lot of their records on Phillips, a lot of like Georgia Bain and stuff. So super pumped to get. This was the first record I saw at the store, so I was elated to get this one. So the second record I got at the store was this is Morris here, Santos Coisas. This is a repress on Polysum. This album is, I mean, this is like a pivotal jazz album. It's kind of got that bossa nova feel. I don't know what he plays. I'm not sure if he's a piano player or there's a lot of horns on here. But I mean, I think the original was 65, so this is a pretty early, I feel, for the Brazilian jazz. The Brazilian jazz is pretty young. I don't think there was too much going on in the 50s, at least that I know of. Maybe late 50s there was a couple, but so he's one of the big players from Brazilian jazz. So super excited to get this one. Bought this brand new. I was just looking to buy some stuff, and this repress is actually a little bit tougher to find on Discogs. I don't see it for that cheap or too often, so super excited to get this one. So nice gatefold. So those are the two that I got at the record store. I was gonna go to the record store the next day at Tropicalia, which is a huge one in Central Rio, but since he told me that kind of everything got bought, I felt like it was a little bit of a hassle. So I didn't have a service on my phone. We had my son with us too, so I had to roll solo into the downtown Rio, which isn't the safest place, and find my way back out without any telephone basically. So I just kind of skipped it. But I did get those, so that was super stoked to get those. This next record, actually, I bought this about a week before I left, and I sent it to my wife's friend's house that we're staying. So this arrived like right when we got there. This is Vienna System. This was originally came out in 2010, but it was never pressed on vinyl. So this is on blue vinyl. This is from a record club in Brazil called Noise Records. Maybe I want to say it's been about 2+ years. They were coming out with a record every 3 months, a quarter, but now I guess they have so much interest they're doing it a month. I don't like everything they put out, but I really wanted to get this. I think it's sold out. Like I feel like every time I try to go on and buy, I can't even. So either it sells out super quick, or maybe they're not taking new orders. They have their subscribers. So I got this on Discogs for a pretty good price, a little more than I wanted to pay. But Vienna System, they kind of remind me of, I don't know if you're familiar with Brazilian music, kind of like Ohapa a little bit. It's kind of got like some Afrobeat guitar, but it's not really Afrobeat music. It's kind of, they got like new age reggae. There's a lot of instrumental tracks, but some of them they have some vocals, almost like rapping kind of on it. But I don't know. Recommend checking it out. They have 2 albums. This stuff is really good. I really like this. This came with a mask and a booklet. I don't know. I haven't read the book. It's all in Portuguese, so it may be nice to learn a little bit, brush up my Portuguese. So that was a good one to get. So the next handful, I've been buying for about 6 months and just sending to a guy's house that I trade records with. So most of these I bought. I did bring about 10 records with me and traded him, actually all 10 for 1 record. So yeah, most of the stuff I bought on eBay or Discogs or whatever. So the first one is, this is Georgia Bain. This is, I think it's self-titled from 1969. This is, again, on the Blue Phillips. So I have a bunch of Georgia Bain records I wanted. He's probably my favorite musician from Brazil. So super stoked to get this one. This one is pretty tough to get. It was a little pricey, but I did get it for a pretty good price. So yeah, this is Jojo Bain on Phillips. This is kind of more, I want to say, his more psychedelic album. It's not really psych, but it's kind of got some odd string arrangements that kind of give it that weird like psych feel to it. But it's kind of, Jojo Bain. He's samba, but his album, I like him because he was always, a lot of his albums are a lot of different, like Africa Brazil is like super funky, and this one's kind of got more of like a psych feel to it, and the pink one, I forget, Lindo something, that one's got a lot of string arrangements, that one's more lush, So this was super stoked to get this one. I do have some other Georgia Bane records that I got that it came after I got back, so I'm gonna show those next time. But I pretty much have almost all the ones I want, at least all the primetime ones. So yeah, but I'd recommend Georgia Bane. He's my favorite. I love Georgia Bane. So this is actually the one I traded for. And that was original press. This one's also original press. This is Arnaud Rodriguez, and the album's called Som do Palinho. So this is kind of like samba, but this one's got like some psych guitar in it. Yeah, like that kind of that Tropicalia feel. He wasn't really part of the Tropicalia movement, I don't think. He wasn't at least one of the big players, but yeah, I really enjoy this album. He's got another one too. I bought the repress. That one should be coming soon. That one's a little more expensive, but this one's also pretty rare, pretty hard to find. So he's got like a nice little afro back there. I don't know what he's sporting. It's kind of a strange hat, but I don't know. This is on RCA. This record is awesome. I really enjoy this. The more I listen to it, the more I like it. I'm not sure. There's another one called Murray Turi, which I initially got me into him, and I'm kind of debating which one's better. This one is really solid. I definitely recommend this. Arnaud Rodriguez. This next one, this one is a little bit later. The Arnaud Rodriguez, I think it was like 676 maybe. This one is Katia de França. This one is from 78. So it's got a little bit more of I don't want to call it a disco. It's not disco at all, but it's kind of got more of that upbeat style to it. And this is also kind of like, samba as well. So this one, it had a couple big players on it. I think it, what was his name? I think it was Zay Ramallo. Yeah, Zay Ramallo. I think he produced this, or at least he produced this one. So Zay Ramallo is a pretty big like underground kind of psych guy from Brazil. It's got some pretty big albums. So he was part of this. I really enjoyed this one. This one is on Epic, Orange Epic. This is from 79 actually, 79. So yeah, definitely recommend checking this one out. This is pretty good too. So this is a newer record. This is Trace in the Massa. I think this came out, I don't know if it was last year, a couple years ago. But this one's really great. There's three musicians on here, and all the songs have lead singers, like different guest lead singers, and I want to say they're all girls. I did recognize Sayo on here. Who's a big female artist, like a newer female artist. I really like. I definitely recommend checking this out. This one's really good. It's just like, all these, Brazilian, they all kind of have that samba feel. But this is just a newer, it's kind of jazzy. Yeah, for sure, it's more in the jazz samba vein, but with some kind of like pop vocals. So definitely recommend checking this one out. And I don't know the label. Let's see. So this is a black label. I'm not sure who pressed this, but yeah, definitely recommend checking out Trace in the Massa. Actually, I bought this from Goma Gringa. They have a record label I like. They press their own records, and as well as stuff that kind of fits in their wheelhouse. They kind of also sell. I don't know if they just do a big order or what, but they also sell other label stuff that's kind of similar to what they're pressing. So actually I bought this from them. And one of the reasons I bought that one is because I bought this. This is Meta Meta. This is their first album. Meta Meta is, I think I've talked about it before. This is the Goma Gringa label on here. You can see the G on here. So Meta Meta is probably my favorite band from Brazil, like currently, new bands. This is a gatefold. So this is actually their first album. They have 3 albums. The second one was pressed first, and then the third, and then this is the first one. So their second one, is a little bit more intense. It's kind of like, it's very, I don't know if I explained it before, it kind of has like a Mars Volta feel. Like the guitar player is, he's insane, like he's so good, and they have a, Tiago França, he plays a lot of brass, so he plays like flute, and he plays sax. So the second one's a little bit harder. The third one's like almost like punk. It's really, really hard. This one, the first one is super, it's kind of mellow. It's very minimal. A lot of times there's no percussion. It's just them three, the singer, Gisara Marsal, Kiko Danucci is the guitar player, and then Tiago França is playing kind of the flute and the sax in a lot of these. So this one's great because this was a little bit more mellow. This was a little easier to listen to. So if you're gonna check out Meta Meta, this is probably a good place to start. But yeah, I'm super stoked now. I have all three. I'm definitely looking forward to getting anything else that they come out with. And if you live in Europe, I definitely recommend checking them out. They've been touring in Europe. I don't think they've ever played in the States, at least that I know of. I hope I can see them one day. They weren't playing when I was there, so in Rio at least. But yeah, I definitely recommend checking these guys out. Meta Meta, so good. So this is another one that this was a gift from the guy that I trade with. This is Chico Buarque de Holanda. I wasn't really familiar with this one. I actually had bought another one, Chico Buarque album that he misplaced and he couldn't find it. So, but he did send me this as kind of just a gift. This one is a little bit more traditional, kind of samba bossa nova. I'd say more, yeah, samba, traditional samba. I kind of like more of the stuff with like, fuzz guitar, jazzier, or whatever. This one was good. It had its moments. Definitely, I think the B side was a little bit better, where it kind of went off in a little bit different tangent. But Chico Buarque, he was known for kind of speaking out against the government. He talked a lot, metaphorically, criticizing the military dictatorship at the time. He was not, let's say, extradited. I don't know if that's the right word. But he was, exiled. He was not exiled like Gilberto Gil and Caetano Veloso, but nevertheless, he's a huge figure in Brazil. So happy to add this one to the collection. And lastly, I've talked about these records before. This is Onça Combo. I think I showed it in probably 2 videos. But these are the. So I already had 2 copies. I had the regular print, which I think it was like 150 print, and then they did a series of 20 where they had an artist hand. So these ones are hand drawn. I had one before, so there's a series of 20 that are hand drawn. So now I have 3. They were on sale. I mean, I bought one initially like the first day, and then they were still up. I don't know, maybe a year later, they still hadn't sold them all. So I don't know. I figure I bought 2 of them, and the exchange rate kind of got favorable for me. So these were a little bit pricier. They're like 300 reais, but with the exchange rate, it was still kind of pricey, but not that bad. So these are hand drawn. So yeah, he drew all the way around here. I think that was upside down. So that's right side up. So you can see here, 20 of 20. So he signed it there. And then the other one I bought as well. So yeah, these are super cool, hand drawn. I don't know too much about the artist, Thiago Verde, but his stuff's pretty cool. I mean, I did check him out on YouTube, Instagram, and his stuff's pretty provocative. It's kind of reminds me of like Bass Squat, kind of from the 80s, but he's Brazilian. He's pretty young, 29, 30, something like that. So I don't know. I couldn't pass these up. I do have 3 of the hand drawn now ones. I think I'm gonna put them up and frame them. I'm not gonna play these records. I do have the regular press. I play that one quite often. So couldn't pass these up. These are sold out now, unfortunately. I think that my friend that I trade with, he ended up buying the last one for his buddy, so these are completely sold out. But Onsa Combo, definitely recommend checking out. I've mentioned them a few times, I'm sure. You guys have probably already listened or don't care, but anyways, so yeah, those are the records I bought from Brazil. I do have a bunch more, probably at least another 10, and a lot of them are Brazilian as well. So I will show those next time. Anyways, thanks for watching.